Yo, what's good, gang? Welcome back to another Nezzy update loop. We got that game meta talk, Winter Chaos updates, new releases you might have missed, plus the shows and movies that are about to run 2026. So instead of doom scrolling all day, I got you right here. Let's lock in. Starting off with the two games making the timeline loud, Marvel Rivals and Arc Raiders. Starting with Marvel Rivals, the year-end patch is live, no downtime, no waiting, you just log in and you're good to go. They added that Times Square New Year Ball drop event, so if you hop in, you can snag the New Year 2026 title just by being there. That's how devs test retention. If people show up for stuff like that, they know they can do bigger events down the line. Now let's talk about where Rivals is at right now. We're in that early meta phase. People are figuring out compositions, not just characters. And right now you're seeing a lot of triple support, heavy sustained comps. Basically survivability is king because damage is still getting tuned. If you got a couple friends communicating, you can run a match. And down the line, once devs start balancing things out, you can expect the meta to flip again. This is that phase where the casuals feel comfy and the competitive players are gearing up for what's next. But if Rivals is all about structured chaos, what happens when the game itself is just straight up unfair? Let's talk about Arc Raiders. That's where Arc Raiders comes in. The Cold Snap Winter Update didn't just add snow, it changed decision making. Winter conditions make the world feel more alive. It's not just a map, it's a season. Visibility gets lower, positioning matters more than aim, and you can't treat every fight like a clean PvP arena. And those quality of life updates like skill tree resets actually let players experiment a little bit more. When bosses or big PvE threats are active, the world pushes conflict. It's no longer just PvP if you feel like it. It's built into survival. Arc Raiders has that classic extraction problem right now. Ratting, inconsistent PvP, fights that don't always feel fair, but that tension is also the appeal. And if they keep leaning into weather events and progression systems, you can expect more seasonal events, more bosses, better loot paths for new players, and stronger community unlock moments. Basically, more arc, more chaos, more moments. So between Rivals testing engagement and Arc Raiders testing survival, you can see how different styles of games are evolving. Now let's talk Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It dropped recently and doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Low commitment, low stress, high nostalgia. It's a cool down game, something you play when you don't feel like sweating or thinking about meta. Available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, priced at about $29.99. And then there's Metroid Prime 4. This one's been in the vote for a long time and it's now finally close. Metroid Prime is all about atmosphere, exploration, and tension. No hand holding, no noise, just discovery. Launching on Nintendo Switch and next gen Switch hardware, expected around $59 to $69.99. And that same anticipation players have for games is happening in TV and movies too. Movie shows, culture. Alright, let's dive into the culture side of things. So you know how Stranger Things wrapped up at the end of 2025, December 31st to be exact. They even ran it in theaters, which shows you how big it was. That finale was like a cultural checkpoint. Stranger Things started back in 2016, so a lot of people basically grew up with it. Now you got folks debating the ending, asking for spin-offs, and it's like the upside down of streaming is shifting. These days, if a show doesn't feel like an event, people move on fast, so the bar is high for what's next. And speaking of what's next, we got Invisible Season 4 hitting in March 2026. This season's bringing in the big bad Grand Regent Thrag. He's the top tier Viltrumite villain. He's going to lead a whole Viltrumite war arc. That means more intense showdowns and some serious growth for Mark and his crew. Now let's talk about The Boys. The final season kicks off April 8, 2026, and it's going to be a wild ride. They're dropping the first two episodes on day one, then rolling out weekly until May 20th. Expect a lot of gore, high stakes, and showdown that's both epic and brutal. We got Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie locked up in the Freedom Camp, Starlight leading the Resistance, and Butcher coming back with a plan to release a virus that can wipe out all the suits. Basically, it's going to be a madness, the final showdown. And then we've got Wonder Man hitting Disney Plus on January 27th. This one's a bit of a wild card. It's diving into the Hollywood side of the superhero world, so you'll get the behind the scenes, almost meta angle on what it means to be a hero in the spotlight. Now, if you're a Marvel head, you'll catch a few Easter eggs in there. They're definitely playing with the timeline a bit. You'll catch nods of the West Coast Avengers lore, maybe a little Simon Williams versus Tony Hawk history, and some fun cameos that tie into the broader Marvel TV universe. It's kinda like they're weaving in those little timeline trees for the fans who know their stuff. Upcoming movies. Alright, let's switch gears and talk movies. Master of the Universe drops June 5th, 2026, and fans are definitely looking for that big blend of spectacle and nostalgia. Then we got Resident Evil reboot hitting on September 18th, 2026, I believe, and the big question is whether they'll lean into the real horror and drop that action cheese. If they nail the tone, this could really reset the franchise. Quick tech talk. AMD just rolled out FSR Redstone and is now supported in over 200 games. Basically, it's a way to get smoother performance without needing a new graphics card. If you're on an older PC, a mid-range GPU, or you're streaming and dealing with frame drops, this is for you. More stable frames mean less stutter and a cleaner stream. It's one of those updates everyone feels, even if nobody's shouting about it. Alright gang, now it's your turn. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Marvel Rivals, are you still seeing a triple support meta, or is it just chaos? Raiders, how you feeling about that winter survival vibe? Anybody play that Marvel Cosmic or the Metroid Prime 4? How y'all feel about it? You taking it slow exploring or rushing straight to the bosses? And for the shows, Invisible in March or The Boys in April, which ones you more hyped for? And what kind of vibe you want from that Resident Evil reboot? Pure horror or a mix? I'm reading all y'all takes. If you're rocking with these kind of updates, gaming, culture, tech all in one spot, then lock in with the channel. This is your Nezzy Beat update loop, and we're doing this every time, man. Catch y'all in the next one. Gang!